Bangladesh is faced with multi-pronged crisis. The ongoing influx of Rohingya refugees in several hundred thousands has tested Bangladesh's friends in the region at dealing with the crisis. The situation and its implications will define Bangladesh's geopolitics in the coming days. I'm Saad Hamadi, and joining me today is Hussain Taufiq Imam, the political affairs advisor to Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Advisor Imam, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
I'd love to hear from you to begin with. We've come across a recent report of a failed assassination attempt on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on August 24. The Prime Minister's office in Bangladesh has dismissed that report, saying that it's false and irresponsible journalism. Nonetheless, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has come across has survived several assassination attempts in the past. For the record of our audience, if you could share with us, when was the last time Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has survived such an assassination attempt?
The most serious attempt was on the 21st of August 2004, as you know. And that was the grenade attack on not only our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, but she was the leader of the opposition at that time, but also the entire top leadership of Awami League. Of course, that was the plan of the then ruling party. It was essentially state-managed, state-organized, state-orchestrated. The then State Minister for Home and the Prime Minister's son, they were directly involved. And as you know, that case, there have been multiple cases on this.
Now, also, if we look into the present crisis that Bangladesh is facing with the influx of such a large number of Rohingya members, we've also heard about the insurgent groups of Rohingyas. The Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army have also waged an attempt armed struggle in Myanmar, and some of them may have joined with the Rohingyas who have fled into Bangladesh. We have come across some of the reports suggesting that this terrorist outfit has links or nexus with the opposition party and the Pakistan intelligence as well, and they may be operating or orchestrating attacks in the future. What are your thoughts on this?
You see, this is a very old problem, and the relationship between the Rohingyas and our people here, and especially the militants, that goes back to many years. And it was during Pakistan time that the Rohingya Liberation Front was organized, and then the Rohingya Liberation Army was created. With both of them, the inter-services intelligence of Pakistan was deeply involved, and with funding from abroad. So that has continued for many years, and only during from the period of Bangabandhu, from 1972, early 72 to mid 75, they were expelled, and there was no traces of Rohingya camps in Bangladesh. I mean the militant camps. Then after Bangabandhu's death, the external operatives, they came back, the militants also came back, and there was a period, I would say from 75 to 96, almost continuously throughout this period, there was that nexus of the then government in power, first Ziaur Rahman, then General Ashad, and then again Begum Khaleda Zia. During all that time, they received assistance, all assistance from here, and the government turned its head when it came to their knowledge. And the result was that the militants with other groups here, they started movement easily. So the late Salahuddin Qadir Chaudhry, who was hanged last year, was the top leader of BNP and then earlier Muslim League. he was reportedly, I don't have any documents with me now to show you, but reportedly he was the major connection for not only the assistance, giving assistance to militants, but also in gun running. Arms and ammunition used to flow easily around that corridor, and many of these were sent to India for the militants in northeastern states, the Seven Sisters. So it was a safe haven for movement of arms, ammunition, drugs, and now you can see now yaba, and also human trafficking.
So we are referring to a recent report in some of the media that suggests that the Rohingya insurgent groups may be conspiring with the opposition in Bangladesh and the intelligence of Pakistan to hatch attacks in the government or in Bangladesh. Now, how credible are these threats, if you could share with us?
You see, given the background and what they did in the past, see, the nexus, as was seen in August 2004, and the past activities of these people, you can presume that they are not sitting idle. They must be hatching something. And only recently, a few days back, one of the staunch supporters of BNP, the retired Major General Fazlur Rahman, he came out with a suggestion that we should not only give shelter to the Rohingyas, but we should create a Rohingya army, and that will go and that will create their own land in Rakhine province, and that will be an independent Rakhine and state that we should support. But these are all, not only in my opinion, but others also who have any similar views, they would say this is atrocious idea. Because what they are trying is, that's quite obvious. What they are trying is, last evening I heard some of the comments by some BNP leaders. They say that Bangladesh should have done much more. What else can be done? You see, the international support that we have garnered, the international support, the ovation that was given to Bangladesh Prime Minister in the United Nations, even the United States now, along with United Kingdom, Britain, France, and all other 7 members of the Security Council, they convened a meeting of the Security Council to discuss Rohingya issues for a third time in so many days. And it is something that the entire world, you must have heard the remarks by the French President Macron, or the British Prime Minister, Mrs. Theresa May. They came out very strongly. All the UN agencies, you have seen the pictures that have been taken by the UNHCR and others through drone and from satellite. The Amnesty International had taken the pictures. So they are all coming in support in a very large manner, which they didn't do before. This time around, I think we have been able to really make it an international issue. And we have been able to get this international support that has been done through the personality and also the relentless work that is being done by our Prime Minister and our other people. And our diplomacy has been very successful.
Now, sir, the Indian External Affairs Minister, Sushma Swaraj, has had an informal meeting with the foreign ministers in New York, and she has said that the regional cooperation among the SAARC member states are facing an impediment due to the peace and security crisis in the region. Bangladesh is, of course, a key member in the regional and economic cooperation and corridors such as the BCIM and BBIN. So with the violence erupting in Myanmar and the impact on Bangladesh, how do you see these regional pacts being impacted?
Naturally, I think Sushma Swaraj is right that our regional cooperation is not really working the way it should. In fact, it has never taken off the way it should have it was expected to have. That is my general comment. And on the other side, what is very important is that this problem has started. You see, if you look at the timing, within 6 hours of the publication of the Kofi Annan report, the Arasa army, the Arasa militants, they attacked 25, more than 25, around that number, Burmese police post, police outpost, and even an army camp. And they surrounded it. And the way it was done, it was very well orchestrated. And we have heard, I don't have any confirmation, that this had something to do with, the timing had something to do with meetings that were held in London, also in Karachi, and the attacks.